here we are. Evergreen Aviation and Space Museum in McMinnville, Oregon. I insisted we come here because they have the Spruce Goose here. And we're going to go in and check out all the planes and whatever space stuff we can find too. Alright, let's go in. Okay, here we go. Let's go take a look. And just to get an idea of scale, a little tiny plane here. We go up to a 4-engine plane here. And there's the end of the Spruce Goose, the wing, the fuselage, oh, the tail. This thing is huge. Here's some more experimental planes here. These are hobbyists who buy these kits and build these planes and fly them. I like this one here. I'll take any of them. Here we're going inside. Here's a model of the Spruce Goose right here. And there's Howard Hughes. There's Howard Hughes right there. And there's the real plane. Look at that.
So the mock-up for that movie.
Whoa. Pretty amazing, huh? And we get to go up into the cockpit and take you up in there. Lots of cool planes here. Can't wait to see them. Look at this. A lot of experimental planes.
This was the first all-metal home-built.
Oh, experimental. They're kits that you build, yeah.
That was?
Yep, well, they all are. Experimental.
Was that for the military? Right?
No. Okay, here's a good shot of the whole plane. There's quite a bit of glare in here. I hope this is coming through. Just to get the scale, how massive this thing is. Again. 320-foot wingspan. Here we have a scale model of how they were building it. Take you around here. Here's just the wing. Look at all that wood. The whole thing was built with wood, and each piece had to be tested for density and strength because of the unpredictability of wood. Unlike metal, every piece of wood had to be tested. Here we are inside of it.
No, they're plywood.
Boy, that
At the
thing's...
very edge of the doorway, you can see the skin is covered in about 3 inches.
Prove that you were here.
Yeah.
Here we go.
On this date.
We are going to tour the inside of it.
2016. Well, welcome to the Spruce Goose, folks. Or what you need, or H1 or H4, or well, there was about 5 different names for it at that point. It was designed to, we were getting torpedoed so bad on the eastern coast that, from the Germans that Kaiser and thought he could go to the war board and say that he could build a boat plane that could fly over the problem. And they thought he was nuts, but he got the Howard Hughes involved in the project, and then he wasn't so nutty. So what it was designed to do is carry 750 troops or 2 Sherman tanks in this area right here. But unfortunately, Howard was such a perfectionist, and there was a few problems in his way. One, the government wouldn't let him have any material because that was going towards the war for the fighter planes. He wouldn't let him have any personnel that knew how to build airplanes, so he had to go out in the world and find people that dealt with wood and cabinetry people and electricians. I mean, he had to go, everybody he couldn't go into the factories and get trained people, so he had to on-job training them. Plus he wanted the final word on everything, on all the decisions. So he was never around, so they would have to wait for him to make the final decisions and then go on. And unfortunately that delayed the project until after the war was over, so the government didn't need it. But Brewster wanted to kind of get Howard's reputation thrown out, and so he investigated in what are their $18 million that had been spent, and for our $18 million basically. So with $7 million more of Howard's money, he finished the project, and when he got done with the investigation, he had already called ahead and told the guys to get the plane out, that he was supposed to just taxi around the Long Beach Bay. Well, on the third taxi, he actually had told no one, and he had full power, so he took off for 1 mile, 1 minute and a half later. He was 70 feet, well, he was 70 feet in the air, and in a minute and a half, he put it back down because, excuse me, the two gentlemen that were in that 5-foot hole back there up in the tail had not a clue what was going on. Oh. Everything was kind of crackling and popping and falling apart. Not to a point where they were totally scared, but they requested he put it back down. They would fix the problem, and then they could go on with life. Well, they fixed the problem, and Howard had already seen it do what he said it would do, so he was done with it basically. That was it. So for the next 33 years, he maintained it. He had it flight ready, had a flight crew on standby for the next 33 years for about $1 million annually. And
just in case
70, well, he died in 70.
Here we go. We're going up into the cockpit. Nice little spiral staircase here. It's pretty tight. Down inside of the wing here. Oh yeah, we get some. Wingspan is 300 feet.
320 feet.
So 160 on each end.
Yeah,
or
approximately.
a little less because the fuselage. Yeah. Wow. This is actually the starter motor. This is what they used to use just to start the motors. Apparently, low man on the totem pole had to actually use the crank right here to start the motor, which would then start the engines. And this is interesting too. Here's the outside of the skin, and here, if you can hear that, you can hear how thin it is. It's just like cloth. Okay, here is the cockpit. It's huge. Some radio stuff. Here we go. This is it, man. Check out all this. Holy. Here it is, man. Here's where he sat. These are the controls. Here's his hat. He left his hat here. Boy. Just amazing. I want to see what I can see from the cockpit. Look back on the wings. I gotta sit down in here. Check this out, Bubbles. Check this out. Here we got our throttles for all 8 engines. Who knows what all this is? Damn. This is exciting. It's got a stick here. Boy. Flight engineer. Let's go back to the tour. Here's one for you, Bubbles. This is the F-15A. You've probably seen it before. Or something like it. That's one big fighter. Man. Look at this thing. I'm standing under the wing of another plane here. All kinds of cool stuff. I'm here. Hey, that's the X-15, isn't it? Up there? First one that broke the sound barrier? I don't know. Today's Super Bowl Sunday and nobody's here. It's a perfect time to come. I'm not into football. All kinds of cool planes. Got some Russian spacecraft over here. That over there, that big ball, that's the top of the Vega spacecraft. I got engines, all kinds of planes all over. I'm not sure what this one is. Let's see, it looks like some kind of early fighter or Russian. Oh, look at those two engines there. And of course we got some cars too. I'm not a Corvette guy, but I sure did like a Mustang Fastback. Isn't that a pretty car? Wow. Got some more missiles over here. We're under the wing of the F-15. Is that what we have here? Boy. Look at those. Yep, this is the X-15, 1963. I'm not sure how fast it went. It wasn't the first to break the sound barrier, but probably went 3 or 4 or 5 times faster than sound. Pretty damn cool. Wow, how cool. Bubbles, check this out. Isn't it the SR-71? Look at that thing, man. Super stealth. I can barely see it. Let's see. The Black Hawk, right? Yep, SR-71. Blackbird. Let's get a look at this thing. That's one fucking aerodynamic plane there. Killer. Look at those engines, man. This thing goes what? 3-4 times the speed of sound? Check this engine out. This is one of the engines here on the SR-71 Blackbird. Damn, these things are big. I'd crawl right in there. I'd crawl right in there and take a nap. Man, look how cool this thing is. I think I'll go upstairs. Wow. Look at that. And this is helicopter land. All the different helicopters. I was never really into helicopters. Fuck helicopters. They're too hard to fly. They look cool though. There's that SR-71 again. Okay, Bubbles. Here we go. I'm doing this for you. Evergreen Space Museum, McMinnville, Oregon. I'm sure you're going to love this. We got space shuttles and capsules and space suits and probably some decnals too, Ricky. I'm going to take a guess and say that this is maybe a V2 rocket, or is it too new to be that? 1937. Okay, Nazi Germany opened a secret rocket development site near the village of something in the Baltic Sea coast of northeast Germany. The site eventually housed over 2,000 scientists and 4,000 other personnel under the command of George Walter Dornberger. Its technical director was 26-year-old Werner von Braun. Soon von Braun invited Hermann Oberth to help, to help him and his team develop the most fearsome project underway. I knew it, the V2 rocket. I was right. Look at this thing. Small by today's standards, but pretty amazing. Okay, here is the Titan 2. This is a big rocket. This thing is going all the way up to the ceiling of this building. And that's not all. It actually goes down below, too. Whoa. Big circular staircase to get to the bottom. Boy, that thing's big. Yeah. All kinds of cool stuff here. I'm not sure which capsule this is. It looks like it only holds 2 guys. Maybe it wasn't the Friendship. It must be an Apollo one. There's a guy out there. Let's see what we get over here. That's pretty cool. And there's that Titan rocket again. Okay, this is one of the Apollo lunar modules. It's probably model 1 or replica or prototype. Much bigger than I thought it was. Damn, the thing's huge. It's Apollo 11 landing on the moon. I was there watching it on a black and white TV. Yeah, here we got one of the rovers. Who's on the moon there? Yeah, that's one big thing. And this is the Titan 4 rocket. Oh, man. Okay, here we go. They got like a section of the Saturn V rocket here. Just to see how big it is. Yeah, that thing was pretty big. And here's one of the engines. I think it had 3 on the bottom. Yeah. Breaker, breaker, come in Earth. This is rocket ship 27. Aliens fucked over the carbonator on engine 4. I'm going to try to refucculate it and land on Juniper. Over, you got any space weed there? How's that, Bubbles? I don't fucking know. Why do we have to play space? I hate playing space. I love it, actually.